Let me ask you a question. Have you ever sat down to practice, played for an hour, and thought, why am I not actually getting better? Well, you're not alone. Most guitarists spend years practicing in a way that's basically the musical equivalent of Wonder Bread. Sure, it fills your belly, but it doesn't satisfy your hunger or give your body nutrition. Now, imagine instead every minute you spend with your guitar feels like playing your favorite song or nailing that perfect solo where everything just clicks, your hands flow effortlessly, and you can feel yourself leveling up in real time. That's exactly what these 3 exercises did for me. They completely transformed how I play, how I practice, and how fast I improve. And the best part, they're simple and you can start using them today. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact exercises that 10x my playing, and I bet they'll do the same for you. If this is our first time meeting, I'm Nicholas Vinoglu. I'm a Grammy-nominated guitarist who's toured the world with A-list artists like BTS, Sam Smith. I've played on late night TV a whole bunch, and as a Berklee College of Music graduate, I've taught and helped hundreds and hundreds of students break out of their plateaus and level up their guitar playing. As always, you can download the tabs and the backing track from this video in the description right below. Also, if you're looking to dive deeper into any of these kinds of exercises, I highly recommend checking out my Back to Basics guitar course. This is an absolute gold mine of information. I'll also leave the link for that directly below. Number 1 is limitations. Do you feel overwhelmed when you improvise? Do you ever pick up your guitar, try to solo, and suddenly forget everything you know? It's like, sometimes people call it stage fright or red light syndrome, but most of the time it's simply decision paralysis. You got too many options up in your noggin, okay? When your brain has to think about everything, every position, every scale, every technique, every idea, all at once, your creativity shuts down. You can't play because you're stuck thinking. And the fix is limitations. This is one of the most powerful practice tools ever. Give yourself strict boundaries. 1 string, 1 technique, 1 area of the neck. The first thing to do is identify any problem areas in your playing. Maybe I'm struggling with phrasing in my solos, right? So to work on this, I'll set a limitation. I'll say I can only use A minor pentatonic on the high E string between frets 5 and 12. Now, the smaller the limitation, the more results you'll see over time. It's really easy to feel like an idiot doing these because they're so stupid easy, but honestly, that's a sign that you're doing it right. So let's kick on our backing track here and give this a try. Remember, you can get this backing track in the description below for free. Okay, so we said for our limitation here, I can only solo using A minor pentatonic on the high E string between the 5th and the 12th fret. So let me first get the lay of the land and find which notes I have available to play. All right, so those are my 1, 2, 3, 4 notes that I have to solo with. The great thing about this is I can't rely on old patterns or shapes or licks, so it's gonna force me to explore different parts of the neck and be more creative. Let's see what we come up with. Now remember, make these musical. They don't have to sound boring just because we have limited notes. I can use slides, bends, hammer-ons and pull-offs. I can use slides. Now, let's start expanding a little bit more. Maybe I'm comfortable with this limitation. Let's open it up from the open E string all the way up to the octave on the 17th fret here. So now I have a little bit more notes to play with. So as you can see, this limitation, when I started, quite small. A minor pentatonic, high E string between the 5th and 12th fret. Very limited. It forces you to be more creative and more deliberate in what your decision making is, right? Because if I just sit there playing, it's not really as musical as going, okay, how can I embellish these 4 notes? I can do a bend with a slide. maybe hammer-ons and pull-ups, right? It really allows you to access like your artistic toolbox. So this is one of my favorite ways to implement limitations. If you want a deeper system that ties all of this together, check out my complete Back to Basics course linked below. It's a full roadmap to rebuilding your foundation from the ground up. Now, one more example. Maybe you're also struggling to play at fast tempos, right? So first, let's set our limitation. We're gonna play 16th notes, but instead of just hammering them out all the way through the bar, blah, 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 let's play only 2 notes at a time, followed by a rest. Then, when that's comfortable, we'll add a 3rd note, and then we'll work our way up to 4. So again, let's kick on this backing track and give that a try. Okay, first thing I wanna do is get the lay of the land rhythmically. So let's start by counting quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now let's try 8th notes. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Now 16ths. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4. That feels pretty quick, right? So 16ths are gonna be pretty fast. So again, instead of just trying to play 1E and a 2E and a real fast, let's start with our limitation. Only 2 16th notes at a time. That'll sound like this. I'm just gonna play the 7th fret of the D string here on the note A. So counting 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a... Just 2 notes. Now when that feels good, I'll do 1E and, right? Here we go. 1E and 2E and a 3E and a 4E and 1E and a 3E and a 1E and 2E and 1E and 2E and. All right, now I feel good with that. Let's try 1E and so all 4 16th notes. Here we go. 1E and a, 3E and a. Now, let's backtrack a little bit because I've been putting a quarter note rest in between each one, right? So let's try 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a. That'll sound like this. 1E, 2E, 3E, 4E, 1E, 2E, 3E, 4E. Okay, now let's add the 3rd note in. So 1E and on every beat. 1E. Oh, I messed up. Here we go, one more time. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and. Now last but not least, put it all together, baby. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. Now the next step would be to start adding in different notes, okay? So instead of just hammering on the A, maybe I say I'm gonna move every 2 notes. I'm gonna move up to a different note. Or every 2 beats, rather. So 1E and a... And again, use these limitations to your advantage. Whatever you need to work on, I'm just giving you ideas here to work with, but whatever you need to focus on that, okay? I'm not being like, this is what you have to do. Like, fit it to your own practice routine. Number 2 is practicing scales and arpeggios descending. Let's start with something simple, or at least something that seems simple. If I asked you to play a C major scale right now, I bet you could probably do it pretty easily. Ascending. But what if I asked you to play it descending, which means starting on the high E string, right here, starting from there, working your way down. Give that a try right now. Now, chances are it may have sounded something like this. Right, you might be stumbling around, and if it felt awkward or you're stumbling even just a little bit on the way down, that's completely normal. This is literally built into nature. Think like if you have to climb up a ladder. Super easy to go up, right? But going back down is a whole different story, right? I remember when I was a kid and I had a bunk bed, I could run up that thing. Getting down, I was like, I'm stuck. I gotta call the fire department. I'm like a cat stuck in a tree up here. Most players unconsciously spend years practicing everything ascending, going up from the bottom, but they never practice from the top down. And this unknowingly causes one of the most common mistakes guitarists make, especially when they're soloing, is starting from the bottom up. I hear this all the time in my students playing. Maybe they're down here in their A minor pentatonic and they want to end up all the way up here, and they know their 5 positions, but they only really know the in-between positions if they start in the from the low string going up to the high string. So like, they might be onto a great idea. And then when it comes time to shift, instead of just going, they have to go. They always have to start from the bottom, work their way back up just to get their footing, right? And it really kills the vibe and it kills the flow of the solo. Like if you listen to your favorite guitarists, you'll notice that they are always just moving swiftly up and down the fretboard. They're never having to start an anchor point from the lower string, climb up that scale to get their ground and their footing, and then they start soloing again, right? Okay, so here's the fix. Every other day, isolate practicing descending only. So whatever your practice plan is for this specific day, practice everything descending. After 1 month of alternating ascending and descending, you'll notice that the fretboard is going to start looking a lot less like a Rubik's Cube. Another key point here is make sure you're practicing this in a musical context. This is really important. Not only obviously are your fingers going to be more comfortable going any direction on the fretboard, but your ears are going to become accustomed to hearing these descending patterns, which will really open up new musical ideas, level up your ear training and your musicianship. So again, let's kick on this backing track here in A minor, and we're going to play through all the different pentatonic positions descending, okay? This is just a good exercise to familiarize yourself with descending. And I'm going to start all the way up here from my A minor pentatonic, starting at the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th fret. Holy crap. So we're going to do that, move all the way down through our positions. And again, don't forget, you can grab the tabs and the backing track for free in the description below. So again, we're going to start here on the A minor pentatonic at the higher octave. And we're going to descend through all 5 positions using 8th notes. So that'll be 1 and 2 and 3, okay? So let's give it a shot. I'm going to start at the 20th fret. 3, here we go. All right, now get ready for the next position down. 1, 2, 3, here we go. Very good. Moving one more position down. 1, 2, do it with me. All right, you guessed it, we're moving on down, baby. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we got another one to go. Last one. 3, 4. We're back home at our old A minor. 3 and 4 and. We could hypothetically keep going down, right? Let's try it. 1, 2, here we go. One more down. Right? Okay, so now we've kind of hit all those. Now, if any of these gave you trouble, that's a great sign that this is something you need to work on. Don't let this get you down. This is really good. Like, discovering things that we need to work on is amazing because it's so hard to figure out what we need to work on. So add this to your daily practice and you're gonna start seeing results really quickly. Number 3 is transcribing. Your biggest problem is that you're learning about music instead of learning from it. Now, you can watch as many tutorials as you want, as many lessons, buy as many courses as you want, but nothing is going to replace transcribing. When you transcribe even just a few bars, you're training your ears, your timing, your phrasing, you're developing your musicianship. It's like the biggest masterclass you could ever give yourself all at once. You start to internalize what great playing actually feels like and not what it just looks like on paper. So my challenge for you is to pick a solo, start working on it this week, okay? If you can ideally do 1 solo a week, 1 solo a month, whatever, just as long as you're always working on a transcription, you're gonna start seeing crazy fast results, okay? Now, what do I mean when I say transcribe? When I say I want you to transcribe something, I want you to find a guitar solo, a saxophone solo, a piano solo. It could be anything, any kind of melodic solo, a vocal line, okay? I want you to first listen to the record until you're blue in the face. I want you to be able to sing the bass line, sing the solo, obviously, hear what's going on in the band and really know the solo. Sing it out loud while you're listening to it, okay? I'm not a singer, but I can go ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Just sing along with the solo. Do all this before you touch your guitar, okay? I want you to know it in here so freaking well that when you finally pick up your guitar and try to learn it, you will do something that will blow your mind. You'll start self-correcting. You're gonna be playing and you're gonna go, and you go, oh, something's wrong in there. And no one told you something was wrong. You told yourself because your brain, your ears heard it. And instead of, it was, oh, there's the right note, okay? You're gonna do this, and this is one of the most beautiful processes. This allows you to take what you hear in your head and translate it to the fretboard. It's life-changing, okay? If you take anything from this video, start transcribing, okay? Now again, you don't have to transcribe a 5-minute long solo. If you wanna just transcribe a couple licks from one of your favorite solos, that's completely fine. Just make sure you understand what's happening, okay? So go, cool, B.B. King played this lick over a B flat chord. So I go, okay, cool. Anytime I have a dominant chord, I can play that B.B. King lick now. I have that association from the context of what happened, and I now have the lick. And then you can break open that lick and see what's going on. I could go, well, he's basically just taking the triad, approaching the third, and then adding in a passing note, the sixth, to the root. So now I take that idea and I say, well, now I'm playing in a different key. I'm in C minor. And I say, okay, well, here's my arpeggio, my triad arpeggio. I'm gonna approach the third and add in a passing note. Sick, now I have a new lick. Right, so you can see, transcription is the gift that truly keeps on giving back. So remember, practice descending only, fix your blind spots, and open up the fretboard. Use limitations, unlock creativity, and stop decision paralysis. Transcribe, learn from the masters, and explode your creativity, ear training, and musicianship. Do these 3 things even just for 1 week, and your playing will start to sound a lot more confident, more musical, and intentional. Now that you know the 3 key exercises to leveling up your guitar playing, check out this video next to keep the party going.